2nd and 6, just inside the 30.
They're not ready for this, man. They're not ready for this. They still playing soccer. Y'all playing the wrong football.
Check. 53.
Now Wilson.
53.
Incomplete, but a penalty flag is down in the backfield. Let's get the call. Of course, they had the option, and they choose to not take the penalty.
They like the results of the play that they just ran, and they elect to let them stand.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down.
So Mike's number one. Hey, that QB's trash. Let's go. Here we go.
Now it's Wilson. Rush coming, and he's taken down. And now that brings up 4th down there, a loss of 6 yards on the sack.
But defensively, you really can't script the start much better. You get a 3 and out and a sack.
Yeah, you're exactly right about that. They kept him short of a 1st down on 1st and 2nd down. And then on 3rd down, they pick up a sack. What tremendous momentum.
So on 4th down, on is the punter, Ryan Wright.
He was called on 3 times in the win last week as his first one here's away. So a change of possession here on the punt. And it'll be Seahawk football, 1st and 10.
Mike's 50.
Milton.
Oh, he's going to air it out right away.
Oh, his first throw of the game going to be intercepted. Picked off by Pat Surtain.
And they will finally stop him as he's down to the 40-yard line.
So this is something we didn't see at all from this offense in the victory last week. That's a turnover. They didn't have any, but giving the ball away here in the opening quarter.
I love the surprise in your voice because it's exactly what you stated. Didn't see it last week, but it was a key to their win. And it'll be a key to this game as well, protecting the football. Didn't get it done there.
Let's go. Hey, we got Mike, number 53. Mike, 53. All right. Here we go. Let's go, D. Let's go. Hey, let's get this. Out.
After the interception, here's Wilson. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. It looks like a loss of right around 11 there on 1st down to set him back on 2nd.
I wonder if they're wandering back to the huddle thinking to themselves, can we just hit rewind and go back a play? Definitely not the down they wanted to begin this drive by giving up a sack. But for the defense, that's exactly how they drew it up.
Well, they're in some hot water now. After that sack, it's 2nd and 21. Now with a play clock at 4, we're going to get a timeout called. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter.
Mike, 53. Mike.
Hey, pick your game up.
Throwing on 2nd and long. Wilson, he's going to air it out deep for Matthews. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long one way out there, but it'll be 3rd down. Matthews, the intended target, 3rd down here.
You talk about this Seahawk defense.
They played extremely well last week in the win over Atlanta.
And while you can't actually see confidence rising in a unit, You can tell by this team, all right? Anytime you can tell your offense, hey, just get us a couple touchdowns. We got this thing locked down. That's when you know you're playing well and you're carrying your team along.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down.
Mike's number one. Come on, D.
Here's Wilson to throw. And a penalty flag comes in as that one winds up incomplete, but the contact is going to move the ball well downfield. After the penalty, a fresh set of downs. It's 1st and 10.
Think you gonna get this, boys? You think you gonna get this? You think you gonna get this?
Let's go. Hey, we got Mike, number 53. Mike, 53. All right, D, let's start. All right, D.
Here's Wilson. Looking to hit Matthews, but it's intercepted.
And the Seahawks are going to have the football here at their own 18-yard line. So consecutive interceptions here early on in this one, and maybe setting the tone, Charles, for a game where the defense really takes center stage.
And don't you think that both offenses are really catching a bit from their coaching staff about avoiding these turnovers that we've seen early? I think both teams are trying to find an advantage. We know that. Can one of them break away and take control of this game?
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense.
And for this offense, Charles, you got to think kind of crucial here to put something together on this drive, because remember last time out, they threw the interception on the very first play.
And you can't afford to let this defense keep building any more momentum. They're playing awfully well, and they're awfully confident right now. To me, it's time to attack and take some of that momentum back, but make sure you're selective in doing so. Understand where you want to throw the football and make sure it's open before the ball leaves your hands.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30.
Hey, check. Mike, 50.
Chop 60.
Hey, D, we're pretty quiet.
To throw, it's Milton. It's complete. It's Gore. And he went nowhere. He'll lose yardage back to the 29. Clock rolling as we hit the midway point of this first quarter.
Here's Milton now to throw.
Firing quickly, but it's incomplete. And this pass defense, they were sensational in the win last week, and they're looking good here so far in this first quarter.
You know, we often talk about how offenses get locked in, and that runs over multiple games where they're really, in that zone. Defenses can be the exact same way, and I think we're seeing an example of it here.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down.
Check 50.
Cowboy 80. Mustang 19.
Hey, Mike's 50.
Check. Ready, go.
Here's Milton.
We're gonna shut you down.
And this almost intercepted. Not sure he saw the free safety that time. But lucky, incomplete. That'll bring up 4th down.
Every offense tells you they want to come out and start fast. That's not unusual at all. But this group, they've yet to get much rolling through their first 2 drives. It looks like they're going to have to give up the football again after this one.
The Seahawks send out their punter as he's on to punt for the first time this afternoon. It's a 40-yard punt, but they lose yardage on the return. And the Broncos take over, 1st down and 10. Denver offense at the line, ready to go. As we grind toward the end of the season here, and they haven't had the season that they had hoped. So let me ask you to play GM. Where might they look to make some changes?
I think when you look into the upcoming draft, think hard about them drafting multiple offensive linemen. They've got to get stouter up front. And as a GM that always tells me, Charles, this is a big boy league, and big people always end up winning games for you.
It'll be a loss of 10, and it'll bring up 2nd.
Check 53's Mike. Check 53's Let's go, let's go. Hey, we got Mike, number 53.
To throw is Wilson.
They can't hang with us.
Looking to hit Matthews, but it's intercepted.
How about this?
And a terrific return as he takes this thing all the way down near the 20-yard line.
Well, it doesn't take a whole lot of investigation to figure out why they're still sitting at 0 on the scoreboard, because their quarterback's got to wake up and start reading defense a heck of a lot better after throwing his second interception.
And they'll run. It's Ken Walker.
It'll be a pickup of 10 yards. And that'll bring up a second and just about a few inches here.
On any explosive run, you can almost feel the ground shaking, and that's from the offensive linemen creating space for their runners. I had an old coach tell me before that he always told his runners, run around the offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking so you don't trip and fall when it happens in a game.
In need of only about the length of the football here on second down.
50's the mic. 50's the mic.
Sticking with Walker on second down.
And he's able to work it here to the 8-yard line. 4 yards on the play, and that leads to the 1st and goal.
Sometimes I get almost mesmerized watching these runners who have great vision. You know, those eyes that carry their feet to open spaces, make people miss. I just love watching those guys go to work.
Here we go now on 1st and goal.
Let's go, defense. Who we got?
Here's Walker.
And he'll work his way closer to the goal line as he's got 5 down to the 3.
Hat tip to that offensive line. They're clearing some holes, even down here deep in the red zone. And that's a nice pickup on the ground on 1st and goal.
Watch tight. Tight end's right.
Gore will score. Touchdown, Seattle.
A strong, determined run there, Charles, to get in for 6 points.
This is why it's such a team game, isn't it? And I know that sounds really generic and it sounds almost trite, but the blocks were made up front. Offensive line collected victory at the line of scrimmage and downfield. And how about the finish to the run all the way into the end zone?
The point after is good, and that makes the score 7-0. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away.
And the returner down to a knee, and this will come out to the 30-yard line. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. They're probably lucky to only be down 7-0 as they come up 1st and 10. They'll start this drive out on the ground. And he fights forward for a modest 2-yard gain, 2nd down.
I don't think any of us were surprised that they decided to start this drive on the ground after the last 2 drives ended in interceptions.
Unfortunately, though, not a lot going on that first play.
Yeah, I think the anticipation was felt also by the defense.
53 is the mic. I can't believe they let you play.
On 2nd down, here's Wilson.
Oh, and that'll be incomplete. Oh, he took a shot as he let that go. And it's going to bring up a 3rd down.
Another incompletion there. That's 5 in a row now to start this game. He's got to take a deep breath now, step back, shake it off a little bit, trust his offensive line, and hope that his play caller dials up something that can give him a completion and get him going.
Able to find the open man. That's complete.
There he goes left side. And all the way home for a Broncos score. A big play there with a lucky number 13 touchdowns now on the year. And the Broncos are an extra point away from evening this one up. Great corner route there. Not only able to catch it, turn it upfield, and get into the end zone.
It usually involves a little bit of an extra move, doesn't it? You've got to get them thinking that you're moving to the middle of the field and you're breaking away to that corner. Boy, that was well executed.
Extra point by Butker is on target,
and we are tied at 7. So all even at 7 now as they kick it away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway.
This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown on their last time out. Looking to repeat that in Charles's defense. They were very frustrated after giving up 6 the last time on the field.
And frankly, it's just a battle of wills in a lot of ways because you know they're both motivated. They both game plan for this drive, and they both have specific outcomes in mind. To me, it just comes down to who can execute better and which side can step up and assert its will over the other. Almost feels like anything you can do, we're going to try and match or do better. We've already seen one touchdown pass from the opposition. They tried to equal it on that throw.
Following the incomplete pass, here they go again. 2nd and 10 from the 25.
Five's the mic. Five's the mic. Here we go. Here we go. Mike 5. Big Lion. Big stop, D. Big stop. Let's...
Throwing is Milton.
He's going to go up top again. That's caught at the 25. Now a timeout called for by the offense.
So as they talk it over, we step aside.
We always talk about the guy who paid off the play, don't we? The guy who caught it or ran it. But how about the elements that go into making a big play? This one in particular, able to scan the field, pocket held up nicely. What a terrific job by the offensive line. The route well run, and the football right on the money.
And I don't quite know what's happening here. It's a first down, but the field goal team is out onto the field. And his kick here is good. And that'll do it for the first quarter of play. 10-7 our score after 1 right here on EA Sports. Second quarter now from Seattle, and it is the Seahawks with the football here. As they've got it as we resume action. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes.
And he'll wisely just take a knee here. This ball will come out to the 30-yard line. Denver offense at the line, ready to go.
And they'll just simply be looking to build off the confidence of the last time out where they scored a touchdown.
And confidence is powerful, isn't it? When you've scored once, you feel like you can go back out there and get it done again. Doesn't matter what the defense throws at them. They feel like they're in a groove right now, and they want to get out there and show it.
Yeah, hoping to stay in that groove here this go-around. And he gets this one just shy of the 40, down at the 39. First play of the drive going for 14 and also going for a first down.
And maybe that touchdown on the previous drive has re-energized this offense a little bit. They've been kind of sluggish until then, but they're showing signs of life here, and they get good yardage that time and a first down.
On 1st and 10, it's Wilson.
That's caught. It's Marvin Mims.
They'll wind up getting 7 on the play, and it'll be 2nd down.
It's a gain of 7. Brings up 2nd and 3 at
the 46-yard line.
Mike won! Mike won!
Let him know, let him know. Let him know, let him know.
So Mike's number one, Mike's number one.
Rip right, rip right.
Here we go, O. Here we go, O. One's the mic. Watch one. Watch one.
Come to my work.
Wilson.
Come to my work.
Blitz coming, and down he goes. They push him back 8 yards that time on second down.
So that now 4 first-half sacks. This pass rush has been unrelenting.
And, partner, you hear that sound of paper being ripped to shreds? That's the game plan that they've had so far because they've got to say to themselves right now, we have to do something differently.
So Mike's number one, Mike's number one. Hey, let's get that ball, D. Let's get that ball.
Here we go, O. Here we go, O. One's the mic. Watch one. Watch one. Hey, watch the screen.
On third down, Wilson. And intercepted. Wilson's third of the game. And they'll start out with great field position at the 47-yard line in enemy territory. Well, that's 3 picks he's now thrown in this game.
And I know this, the holiday season, because here we are in December.
Season of giving.
Right, it is the season of giving. Maybe for his own sake after the game, he may have to announce that he's donating certain amounts to charity for each interception that he threw.
And the first play of the drive there is incomplete.
That's tremendous field position that they were given following the turnover, but they've still got work to do to get to field goal range, and the coverage we're seeing isn't going to make it easy.
Now a 2nd and 10.
Drop deep, drop deep.
79 Broncos.
Now Milton.
Double dog, that's the way.
He'll get this to Baker. And he gets it inside the 35 and just shy of the 30. Second catch for him today, and it'll wind up a first down.
Well, they obviously read man coverage their partner, and he got downfield, broke down the defender, made him
What do you mean by that?
Yeah, he made him think he was going to run a different route. Probably thought he was going to take it upfield, then he curls back inside for the completion.
Bobcat, 60 Bobcat.
Mike 5.
To throw is Milton. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football.
Oh, and one of the linemen on the other side has got it.
Much like a running back going through the line, quarterbacks have to be aware of protecting the football as well. He left it exposed that time, wound up having it knocked free, but fortunately, had an alert teammate who was able to get it.
To throw on second down, Milton.
He lets it go deep for Olave.
And it's intercepted.
Picked off by Pat Surtain. And the Broncos are going to have it here as they'll start at their own 24-yard line. Boy, that one was in the air for an agonizingly long time.
Just begging to be picked off, wasn't it? It's one thing if you're throwing a ball like that, trying to throw someone open or lead them into an area. But that ball needed to be thrown with a lot more conviction. As a result, it's an easy interception.
Shift.
Watch twist. Watch twist.
Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. Throw left side complete. That's Williams. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. That play going for 16 yards to start the drive. First down.
And they'll use him out of the backfield, and sometimes quite a bit. They're just trying to get him touches any way they can. 4 catches a week ago. There's another one right there.
Check 24. Check 24.
Here we go, O. Here we go, O. One's the mic. Watch one. Watch one.
Throwing now, Wilson on first down. And it's incomplete. Boy, he doesn't drop many like that one. Second down. So another incompletion there. He's hitting on fewer than half his pass attempts in this one, and that is not a winning formula.
Yeah, so let's make sure we give a little bit of credit to the defense here. They've given him a lot to think about, a lot of different looks, and he seems a little bit confused trying to complete passes.
Here we go, O. One's the mic. Watch one. Watch one.
Keep it up, defense. Keep it up, guys.
Now it's Wilson. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today.
And the Seahawks are going to have it here at their own 32-yard line. Well, CD, you know, when you mentioned earlier about spreading the ball around in this game, I don't think you mentioned the guys in the other uniform. I mean, 4 interceptions here in the first half, and several different guys have picked him off.
Yeah, and instead of analyzing what's going wrong with him throwing the football, while we look at the defense, they came in prepared, had excellent game plan, well scouted, and they're taking it away at almost every turn.
And the timing a bit off that time as that one falls to the ground.
I would say it'd probably be a good idea for him to reintroduce himself to his receivers at the half because they're definitely on different wavelengths. But I also don't advocate waiting that long. Next series before you get out there. Hey, let's get together, guys. Let's get this thing moving.
Here's 2nd and 10.
Warrior 70. Rig alert. Rig alert.
Mike 50. Mike 50.
Back to throw. Milton, a dump off here for Gore. And he's able to take this one up to the 30. Five-yard line. He'll get only 3 there, so it leaves him with a 3rd and 7 ahead.
That's a good job there by the corner. We do talk about this a lot, that a lot of corners see their job as tackling isn't everyone's thing. But in this case, he came up quickly and made a nice, sure tackle.
So 7 yards from the first down here as they come up to the line of scrimmage.
On 3rd down, Milton.
And that is knocked away in the middle of the field and incomplete.
So it doesn't look like they're going to be able to build off the turnover.
Well, the defense certainly did its part. It got them the football. But you're exactly right. It looks like they're going to have to punt this one away. And it's not a turnover, but doesn't it feel like one after grabbing the momentum with the defensive play?
Yeah, and they had all that momentum after getting the football and now zapped right back in the other direction. The Seahawks send out their punter as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. 42 yards on the punt, just 2 on the return. And out will come the offense as they take over. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. And they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, you had your fun? All right.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah, let's get back on track here. And sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership.
Here we go. Oh, one's the mic. Watch one. Watch one.
Now Wilson. Rush coming, and he's taken down. It'll go as a loss of about 6, and now it brings up 3rd.
Well, Charles, this has been something to watch so far. This is where you really feel for a quarterback. He's been running for his life in this first half.
Brandon, that's 5 sacks already, so you know he's got to be saying, can we get some more guys in here to block, please? Because if we don't, we're going to need another quarterback.
Trap 60. Mike's number 1. Bound to lose 1.
Here we go. Oh, here we go.
And here comes throw number 1 for the backup QB.
They're throwing left sideline there. but it's incomplete.
That's an excellent job right there on third down. Like any defense, you never want to let them get anything started, and that would have been a first down. Instead, you saw the contact on time, no penalty, and before this drive could get wings,
and here's a very low-line drive, almost whiffed on it. And they'll be set up with great field position as this is going to be touchdown right at the 40-yard line.
18 Cardinal. Coming. Five's the mic. 60 Bison.
Walker now on 1st and 10. And he'll work this forward for about 3 at 2nd down.
yeah, I don't know if it's exactly a win-win, but if you're on offense, you'll take that kind of a run, all right? It was kind of stacked up, found a little bit of yardage, and frankly, they're pretty close to staying on schedule on offense. The playbook is still open for the coordinator.
This a 2nd and 7 from the 37.
Hey, check Mike 50.
Off play action. Milton. That's complete to Baker. And they're going to be set up down around the 15-yard line. 22 yards there, a first down.
And, partner, they're locked in man coverage out left, and they end up running a crossing route. Rounded it a little bit more than a slant. And he's just going to angle himself towards the right side of the field, and that's very difficult for a defender to shadow him across all that ground.
And he's going to be intercepted for the 3rd time thus far. Picked off by Pat Surtain. And the Broncos force the turnover. And they'll take over at the 10.
Well, this is just crazy. He's got 3 interceptions, Charles, and we haven't even departed the first half of this ballgame.
I think if you're looking at the stats right now, you're saying, all right, who's the leading receiver? Well, can you flip it around and say that maybe he is and could be for the game the way that things are going right now? I think if it's him, he wants to be on the field at all times.
So Mike's number one.
They'll throw on 1st down with Wilson. Airs this out for Matthews. And that is caught one-handed. Oh, my, he pulled it in. Now a timeout taken. Perhaps a chance for one more quick play and then another timeout if they hurry. We'll see. So one play, and they're already just shy of midfield.
Watch one.
Let's get the ball.
Mike one.
Let's go, D. Let's go.
So Mike's number one.
I'm here all day. Here we go, Oh. One's the mic. Watch one.
Guys, it's game situation. Let's go.
Here's Wilson. And oh my goodness, here's a 5th interception. Picked off by Reek Woolen. And he will be out of bounds with no time remaining on what will be the final action of this first half. That's it for the first half. 2 more quarters to go. We'll have plenty more to see after the break. Welcome back. Halftime over. We are ready for quarter number 3. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gordon. A good, tight football game thus far. 10-7 the score as we resume action on EA Sports. And no run back here as the 3rd quarter will commence with a touchback. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And, Charles, they've got the lead. I would imagine the overall halftime tone was a positive one, but what do you think the talking points were in the locker room?
Well, if there were 3 talking points at the half, partner, all of them were about turnovers because they were pretty loose with the ball. Otherwise, this lead could be even bigger. Now, I don't think that they overly harped on it, but I think they told them, guys, if you want to keep calling those plays that are exciting, you've got to take care of the ball. Otherwise, we may have to dial things back a little bit.
Sticking with Walker on second down.
And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line.
That one, a first down pickup of 8.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10.
70 Lions. 18 Pioneer.
Looking to throw. Milton. Olave holds it in.
So the completion results there in 9 yards. And that'll give them a short yardage situation here for second down.
Ready? 60 Eagles.
Mike 5.
19 Lions.
Back to throw. Milton throwing the out route incomplete. It's Gonzalez. And this is going to be another first down as they'll make the tackle at the Broncos' 44-yard line. They give them 13 yards there on the play and a fresh set of downs. So a 1st and 10 now in Denver territory at the 44-yard line.
19 tight. Here we go.
Looking to throw. Milton. He'll be brought down by the Broncos. It's a sack. He'll wind up losing 8 on the sack there, and it's second down.
Well, remember, they had the nice gain on the previous play, but they just gave a lot of it back right there on that sack.
Yeah, they get the sack, get back some real estate. Felt like the type of play that can spark a defense and swing some momentum. Almost felt like a take that type of a play, didn't it, partner?
He's going to float this one deep right side. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today.
Picked off by Riley Moss. And the Broncos are going to have it here as they'll start at their own 7.
That is a tough way to start the third quarter. You get the football, hoping to drive it down, put it in the end zone, and take the lead. Instead, they give them the football.
And I think the key here is for them to not get discouraged. That is not how they drew it up, not how they saw it in their minds. But there's a long way to go in this game. You know, they've just got to find a way to come back one play at a time. Yes, it's a cliche, but they can get it done.
Denver offense at the line, ready to go. They got the ball now following a big play, keeping the other guys out of the end zone. Now they'll start deep in their own territory, 1st and 10.
And he's going to go down. He backed up into the end zone, and this is going to wind up a safety.
That's exactly what they were aiming for defensively. A huge early play that cuts off any opposing momentum at the knees. As soon as that snap was made, they were flying to the ball and through the line. Great call from the coaching staff and even better execution.
So a free kick situation forthcoming from the 20 as they'll punt this one away. This is brought in at the 21. Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway.
Switch. 18 Cardinal.
Now a play fake here on 1st down. He's going to take another shot here. And this is caught at the 20. And they're going to have this way down deep in Denver territory. It's a big play there for Seattle. 51 yards.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play. They picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
So the field flips here as they'll go to work at the 20 now on 1st and 10. Operating from the gun. Milton throwing the out route incomplete. It's Baker. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2.
What I love about watching the passing game nowadays is that the one-dimensional receiver is really starting to leave the game. You've got to be able to do it all. Of course, you got to run fast. Of course, you got to catch the ball. But route running savvy and toughness, there's a premium for all of that now.
Tries the left side and finds Olave. And he's going to be touched down right at the line of scrimmage.
And that's when it's fun to play defense. When you're able to diagnose a play right from the beginning, get all your guys to the football, and spill the play, that's when you have a lot of fun playing on that side of the ball.
In need of a conversion on 3rd down. They had the big play to start the drive. Not much sense.
They'll try for the first with Walker.
And he's able to work it here to the 8-yard line. The gain of 5 that time gives him the conversion and makes it 1st and goal. Well, they gave themselves options there on the 3rd down play and were able to convert on that RPO.
Shows a lot of trust with the guy taking the snap, doesn't it? Because you're counting on him to make the right reads and give the ball where it's supposed to go. And he did on that play.
It's a loss of 4 there, bringing up 2nd down.
We knew both of these safeties were good in run support, but how about the play we just saw there? How about that closing speed? Able to get to the outside part of the field and turn that play into a loss.
2 of their 3 red zone trips so far, they've come up empty on. They'll look to reverse that trend on 2nd and goal. Off the play fake. Milton. End zone caught. Touchdown, Seattle.
Chris Olave.
A 12-yard touchdown grab.
And the Seahawks are able to add on to that lead.
The call is to go for 1 and kick the extra point. And this one gives his guys a 12-point lead. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away.
And this one fielded in the end zone. It won't be returned, so it'll come out to the 30.
The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. And last time they surrendered the safety, we know they don't want to do that again.
That is just one of those oddities in scoring that we get, and it's just so strange to see that go up on the board, and then you got to make sure that that doesn't happen to your team again. They've got to take care of the ball.
But boy, it juices up the defense. Launches deep. A jump ball, and this is caught. It's a gain of 34.
When they've needed a play this year, he's certainly been the guy to deliver it. As this season has gone on, he's been awfully consistent and sometimes spectacular.
So from Seahawk territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 41.
Check. 53's Mike. Check. 53's Mike. Come on, baby. Let's see what you got.
From the gun, it's Wilson. He lets this one fly toward the back of the end zone.
And this one almost intercepted. Had a chance to come down with it in the end zone, but could not hang on.
I certainly like the idea. You're down on their side of the field. Get your big play guy involved. That time, they put one up for him to see if he can pull it down in the end zone, but the coverage was good, and it winds up incomplete.
Let's go, defense. Let's get out the field, defense. Hey, check Mike 57. Mike 57.
He'll try again with the arm here on 2nd down. And he's going to hook up with his big tight end, complete. And down he goes, taking it inside the 10, just shy of the 5 at the 6. Better than a 30-yard gain as we wind down towards 30 seconds left in the quarter.
Hey, tighten down. 7 Pirates. 3's the Mike. 53. Check 53. Hey, let's pin the mirrors back and go full.
Again, he'll drop the throw. And that is caught. Touchdown, Denver.
Christian Watson
from 6 yards away.
And the Broncos are able to get a score back in the final stages of this third quarter. He was on point throwing the ball right there. He had the big play to get him down close, and then he delivers a touchdown pass on 1st and goal.
And you mentioned the big play that got him down close. I think that big play left him reeling a little bit. They didn't recover from it. And, you know, they always talk about having to have a short memory on defense after a big play against you. Looks like their memory was a little too long there.
A 5-point game now as here comes the kickoff. And no thought of bringing this one out. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll begin the drive at the 30. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. Pretty important third-quarter drive for them. Momentum has sort of shifted the other direction after that last touchdown as they nurse this small lead. 1 quarter remains here in Week 16. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now in Seattle, Washington. It's the Seahawks with the possession. They also have the lead here as we get set for the 4th and final quarter. The last play got just a yard. Here's 2nd and 9 from the 26. Back to throw. Milton. And he rifles one incomplete. Not sure what happened out there, but it looked like the timing was a little off on that throw.
Well, you know I'm a defender, so what am I going to say?
Great defense.
Darn right. They did something to disrupt that timing.
And the Seahawks on 3rd down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 9.
Here we go. Mike 5, Mike 5. Watch the go.
Looking to throw. Milton. And oh my goodness, here's a 5th interception. And they take over. They'll set up shop at the 46-yard line. Boy, they get him yet again, Charles. 5 interceptions in this game. You rarely see this, maybe a couple of times in a season, but this defense, they've been fantastic.
It's certainly an example of watching a defense that is in the zone, right? We use that term so often, but most of the time it's for people who are on offense. In this case, it's a defense as a whole, all locked in with each other, all ready to go.
Now a 1st down carry. It's Williams. He takes this for about 6 down inside the 40.
Hey, it's not the most spectacular play, but I think most teams will take that every single time for the first play of a drive. Begin the series with positive yardage and set yourself up for a very manageable 2nd down.
Mike 1.
Ball on the 39. Here's the 2nd and 4.
So Mike's number 1, Mike's number 1.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Back.
Now Wilson wants a different look.
Under crunch.
Williams going to get it again on 2nd down. And he only manages a couple here down to about the 38-yard line.
Brandon, we talk all the time about those hybrid players, guys who can do more than one thing. And I think if you're playing strong safety in the NFL today, you are a true hybrid. Part linebacker, part cover guy.
And coming up, sticking his nose in the mess there and making a nice play defensively. 3rd and 2.
Watch one. Bring it.
Mike 1.
Throwing is Wilson. And that is incomplete. What a difference a week makes. Last week he hit on over 80% of his passes. This week he's down under 50%. What do you see as the difference?
Well, I think we're used to seeing a drop. If someone's over 80%, they're not going to hold that number, not in this league. But a drop under 50%, that just tells me that the defense, they spent a lot of extra time on game films and came up with a really good plan to try and chip away at his timing.
57's the mic. Watch 57.
Man, I got
70 Ranger, 70 Ranger.
Mike's 57. 57's Mike. 65, 65. 65.
As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. A fourth down, no problem. 19 yards that time, but now it's 1st and 10. Fourth down, trailing in the fourth quarter. They felt compelled to go for it, and they got it.
Well, I'd look down at my play sheet, and what I would find, plays that have been successful throughout the game that have worked at the distance you need, and that's exactly what they got done.
So here's a 1st and 10 now, down inside the 20.
Oh, shit. Watch
Panther 11, Panther 11.
Now a handoff up the middle. Fletcher, he'll get forward for 3 down to the 16-yard line.
What a luxury to have a guy like this who can not only spell your starter, but can come in and keep drives going.
They'll come up 2nd and 7.
Let's go, baby. We need turnover. Let's get that ball. Let's get that ball. Check 3, check 3, check 3.
From the shotgun, Wilson. Toward the back corner of the end zone, but he could not get the feet down. This will wind up incomplete.
This defense is continuing to contest every deep ball that is thrown downfield. And look, it doesn't matter whether you're playing man or zone. Eventually that becomes man on man, and you've got to trust yourself and go up at that moment of truth and make a play on the football.
Here's play number 7 on the drive. This is 3rd and 7.
79 Broncos.
26, Mike. 26, Mike. Watch the pass. Watch the pass. 26, Mike. 26.
They'll look to throw here. And this is caught for a Bronco touchdown. A 16-yard touchdown. And the Broncos have moved out in front here in the fourth quarter. And now remember, all touchdowns are reviewed, and in a tight game like this, they're going to take a good long look at it. So now a big play here as the Broncos will line up to go for 2.
19 Tiger.
Whip, whip.
60 Bobcat. 60 Bobcat.
Let's go, let's go. Hey, we got Mike.
They'll try and throw for it. And this one's caught. And their fourth quarter lead grows by a couple more. So they make the decision. They want a 3-point lead versus a 2-point lead, and they got it.
Yeah, at this stage of the game, it seems like the exact right thing to do. Put a little pressure on your defense, but the biggest thing now is you're making the other team chase you.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. But the bad news for them, they've seen that cushion they once had totally evaporate, and they're working from behind. The good news, they now have the opportunity to regain the lead right back.
Clock running, under 4 to play now as they come up on 1st and 10.
Again, it's Walker.
He'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds.
61 yards rushing for him now as he's run it 11 times.
Consecutive plays now where that offensive line has really created a lot of space.
And we've seen the confidence rise, haven't we? It borders on arrogance now, and that's that good arrogance, believing you can run the football whenever you get good and ready.
Up the middle, here's Walker.
And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it.
They suspected that it was a power play up the middle coming at them, and boy, were they right. That defense got downhill in a hurry and limited them to just a couple on first down.
2nd down and 8.
Cowboy 80.
Here I come.
6 guys. 7 Pirates.
Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw.
He completes it to Olave.
And this is going to be another first down as they'll make the tackle at the Broncos 19. That'll be marked as a 27-yard pickup. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
So here's a 1st and 10 now, down inside the 20.
Mike 5. Cub 19.
Mike,
Operating from the gun, Milton. Drops it underneath to Gore. So give him 2 yards there on the completion, and that'll make it 2nd down.
Well, offensively, that's the mismatch that you want. You want to force a linebacker to try and cover your back out of the backfield, out in some open space. But linebackers nowadays, they run like backs, and they take a lot of pride in covering. What a nice play he made there in the open field.
Whistles now in a timeout defensively. So a wise move as they'll use the first of their timeouts to force one more play before the 2-minute warning.
It's all pretty simple sometimes, isn't it? Go where the defenders are not, and he does exactly that. Makes a nice catch to move the chain.
And he will not be denied. Into the end zone. Touchdown, Seahawks.
Ken Walker, his 11th rushing touchdown on the year. And the Seahawks answer back with a touchdown of their own to take a 4th quarter lead.
Point after, up and good. And that will make this a 4-point game. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And they will not get a chance to return this one. It's through the back of the end zone for a touchback.
They'll come up 1st and 10 here.
Check 99. Check 99.
They'll start this drive out on the ground.
And a short pickup to about the 27. It'll be 2nd down.
We've got a one-score game with inside of 2 minutes remaining.
They'll come up now on 2nd down.
Watch the curls.
26 Mike. 26 Mike. Let's go. 26 Mike. 26 Mike.
Yeah. You don't want none.
26 Mike. 26 Mike.
Gotta do better. Come on, QB. Come on.
26 Mike. 26 Mike.
Now Wilson. He's going to let it fly.
Oh, and that's going to sabotage their comeback plans. It is intercepted.
Charles, whatever's going on between his ears right now, it's just not completely calculated correctly. 7 picks between last week and this week after that one.
And they always say the most important part of a player is those 6 inches between the ears. But right now, it's all those interceptions that are going on. So whoever his trusted confidant is on the sidelines, I don't know if it's the offensive coordinator, the quarterback's coach, maybe the backup quarterback, that's who he needs to get with now and get himself calm.